Papa Squat, I'm gonna sit on my living room floor and share with you everything in this basket. This is a big deal for me, guys, because everything that we are currently using in our homeschool, I can fit in one basket. Yes, it's heavy. Everything we're currently using, with the exception of obviously library books, like in our library collection, read aloud, stuff like that. As far as curriculum goes, it can all fit in this basket. I have really tried to shrink down and really focus and like narrow in my mindset, if you will, what our plan and direction is and what our goals are, things that I want to focus on for each individual child. Because a lot of times I'll just pick up curriculum for the homeschool year and just start working through it. Just kind of, I don't want to say mindlessly, but I'm not really focusing on what each child needs. Whereas this year, I feel like I'm doing a better job at that. I feel like I'm doing a better job being more intent in what each of my kids is needing and in different areas that they're needing to learn and grow and maybe be challenged in a healthy way, which is something different for me, right? The whole reason for today's video is to just show you that when we are being intentional in what we're doing, when we are listening to our kids, when we are focusing on their needs, it's amazing how much extra fluff we can like peel away, if that makes sense. So I've been kind of saying as I've come back that I've been doing like this minimalist homeschool type thing, but I don't know that it would be that. It takes me back to simplifying our homeschool journey. And I've kind of been in this like swing of I'll simplify and then I get crazy excited about things and then I simplify and then I'm like, oh, look at that. And then it's just like a roller coaster for me, and it's just how I roll. So it's how I roll on the roller coaster. I am really trying to be intentional with everything we're doing this year. And so far it's been going really good and getting rid of a lot of the extra fluff that's adding extra weight and pressure. It's unnecessary. I'm adding weight and pressure to my kids, which is making me stressed out and pressured. It's making them stressed out and pressured. It's making homeschooling not a super enjoyable thing because mom's added a million different things and we're never gonna get through it. And that's where I get overwhelmed. That's where I get burnt out. That's where I start feeling that burden of we're not getting enough done. And it takes out every ounce of joy that I have in homeschooling our boys. And so this is meant to be a positive thing that I want to share with you. This is a big step for me. Being able to contain everything that we're using in one basket for me personally is huge. I'm going to start today's video off talking briefly about math with my boys. We're going to start with our math curriculum that we're using. All three of my boys are using teaching textbooks. We have used teaching textbooks with my oldest, who's now in 8th grade. He has used it since the 3rd grade all the way through. We had a few hiccups here and there where we switched maybe to Saxon for a couple weeks, and then we always end up going back to teaching textbooks with him. The same with my 6th grader. He is using teaching textbooks. He's going through it just fine so far. We don't have any need to feel like we need a shift. Now, on the other hand, my 3rd grader, he is working through teaching textbooks. He's working through multiplication facts. And I've shared this with you time and time and time again, which is why today's partnership is so dear to my heart. We are talking about times tails, okay? This is something that we have added. We're using teaching textbooks for math, but when it comes to multiplication facts, I have had to pull in extra resources, and I've shared that before. I've done a video in the past, I think it was like a year and a half ago, solely on times tails. Well, you guys, they totally updated and revamped everything, and that is why I wanted to bring you this section of this video when it comes to what we're using in our homeschool, because I have done this with every single one of my boys, and my oldest is now in 8th grade. Times tails is something that we have used and have loved all along in our homeschool. There have been seasons where we don't pull it out and use it because my kids already have their facts memorized. But now here we are again in this situation. My 3rd grader's struggling. Guess who came out with an updated version, you guys? Right here, times tails. This is the old version. I'm gonna share with you real quick what their updated version looks like, and it is absolutely amazing. We use it, we love it. It has been going great and helping my 3rd grader with math and getting his multiplication facts down. So good. This is just a quick glimpse at the new updated version of Times Tails in action. I was doing this with my youngest and just wanted to film a little
clip of it for you guys. You can see that the graphics are obviously updated. The sound is updated. The animation is definitely better quality than it was previously on the older version. And it's awesome because you can stream it. So it's all digital. You can do it on your phone, on your tablet, obviously a computer, whatever suits your fancy. And it's so incredibly helpful for memorizing the upper times tables. And there's also division that it works through with those same facts as well, which is super handy for us.
Fix-It grammar. I am doing this with my oldest 2 boys. It's so incredibly simple. It's so simple. Okay, the next thing I want to share with you curriculum-wise, this is my oldest, so my 8th grader, and I'm just going to kind of bounce around. It's not really going to be organized because I'm just pulling them out of the basket that's sitting right in front of me. This is writing strands. With What are you doing?
Sweatshirt.
You're trying to find a sweatshirt?
I don't have any.
Probably in your dirty laundry basket. So writing strands. This is something that my 8th grader is working through because I really want to teach him how to write well. I want to give him the skills to write well. So you will find, obviously, writing strands. That's from Master Books. I'll have a link down below for everything if you want to check it out. Then we have Explode the Code 8. These are fun books for them. That's here because we use it. This is good for him when his brothers are needing like independent help from me where we step aside so I can help them. This is something good for him, and I just lost his spot. Anyway, that's been something fun for him. I have How Great Is Our God. I don't know why that's in there. That's part of our morning basket stuff. So let's move on. That's my 8th grader. So teaching textbooks, math, and then what I just shared with you. Those are his independent subjects. Then we have my 3rd grader. So things that we are using and loving that I just tipped my basket over. We have building spelling skills because personally, I love having a little bit extra spelling. That's just me. We're old school list style spellers around here. Then, as I mentioned before, we have language arts and literature. This is from The Good and the Beautiful, level 2. He's working through this. He's about halfway through, like lesson 55. And so I assume we'll be finishing that before the end of our school year. Then we have Explode the Code, or no, this one is Beyond the Code. We have Explode the Code and Beyond the Code. This one I like. It's more reading comprehension based. When it comes to The Good and the Beautiful with my 3rd grader, we aren't doing the reading together. This is just something that we're doing strictly bookwork, and then we have other books that we read together with other studies that we do. So Beyond the Code for him. He also has Explode the Code. Then multiplication. I will tell you guys, we got the Good and the Beautiful Math 3. He's doing teaching textbooks, but we had received Math 3 at the beginning of the school year, and I love it for the bookwork aspect. So you can see what I do here. There are things that I circle, like right here, multiplication facts. We needed to do them. I wanted him to do these, a few of these addition ice cream stacker or whatever things. So again, bring in extra resources as you will, as you need, as you see fit for your family. This is what we're doing so far for my 3rd grader and for my 8th grader. Now I want to show you some of what I'm using for my 6th grader, and then just end on a positive note of encouragement. Gather round. I've had so many of you ask in my last video where I was talking about the minimalist homeschooling side of things and just simplifying and getting rid of the fluff. Gather round is not fluff. Gather round is not fluff to me. To answer that question, those of you who are like, are you still using gather round? Yes, I am still using gather round. It is not fluff to me, not at all. So those are my boys' workbooks that also fit in my basket, right? Because I'm simplifying things, right? That's what I'm doing here. Okay. Although it probably doesn't seem that way. To you guys, this probably doesn't seem simplified, but if you knew what was going on in my head and all the directions I was like being pulled, you would be like, yes, good job, girl, way to simplify. So I have writing strands. This is from Master Books. Writing strands from Master Books for my 6th grader. I also have language lessons for living education for my 6th grader. This was purchased for my 8th grader when he was in 6th grade, and I still have it. And I was going through all of our curriculum, selling some stuff, and I came across it and I pulled it out because, again, there's so much good stuff in the Good and the Beautiful language. I love it. I love it. But we're not doing the books and we're not doing the poetry and we're not doing the art studies necessarily because it's just not something in this season that my boys are interested in, like not even in the slightest bit. So I pulled this out and I just put it in front of Cooper and was like, what do you think about this? What do you think? I love the Bible. If you guys have been around before, I'm coming back to the oldies. Like, you guys know this. You know this about me. If you've been around here, you know that I have loved everything about Language Lessons for Living Education from Master Books. I just felt like there were some things that I needed to add a little bit of. And now that's not a negative thing. I'm not adding it because I feel the weight or the pressure, but I know my child and I know what he needs. Hence, writing Strands. He loves it. It's so quick. It's so simple. It's so good for him. He feels like he has accomplished something instead of it being a daunting, draining thing that is set before him. He loves it. 2 more things. Let's talk about history. I've been blabbing, it seems like forever, and I told you I was gonna make this quick, and I'm trying. But it's so hard because I feel like I have to explain. Why do I feel like I have to explain? I don't have to explain anything, right? Story of the World is what we're using for history right now. We are also using Beautiful Feet books. I'm gonna go grab it because I forgot to put that in my basket. Thought I had it all together. Thought I had this down, but obviously I didn't. History, Story of the World, and Beautiful Feet books. Why are you doing 2? What in the world? Why are you doing that? I don't know, because I like them both. Story of the World, I love this book. I love some of the information that it gives. Some of the stories are incredibly boring and we skip past them. Just gonna be honest. There are some in here that I'm like, I'm not even interested in that. Let's move on. But some of them are gold, okay? Some of them are gold. So this is where it lies. Beautiful Feet books. This one is early American history. So we are reading through right now. No, we just finished this. We're on Pedro's journal. I am a hot mess right now. We are on Pedro's journal. So we just finished Where Do You Think You're Going? Christopher Columbus. We are on lesson 32, which is working through Pedro's journal as a read aloud. We've really enjoyed it. I love it because it gives us time to just sit and read aloud together as a family. And then the beauty of this happens, it's beautiful anyway, but when these coincide, when there's something we are reading in Beautiful Feet books that we can pull a story out of Story of the World. So there you have it. Story of the World comes with a lot of different read alouds that are just book suggestions that you can add into your home if you want. I haven't purchased knowingly a single read aloud from Story of the World. Not even like from the library. I haven't rented any from the library either. All the read alouds that we have are either ones I already had purchased or they were part of Beautiful Feet books, early American history. Okay, last thing I want to share with you. I've shared these with you before. These are so incredibly simple and to the point, and I love them. I didn't print the cover out for this, but I've shared her Courage unit study before. These are from Simple and Free over on Instagram. You can find her website. I'll link her down below. That one, I finally purchased another one. This is going to get us through the rest of this homeschool year. And I mean like year as in the month of December, right? Like this current 2021, not as in the homeschool year, right? Just the Small Animals of North America, the coloring book to go with it. And I just make copies. Each of my boys has a copy. I have a big library haul that I need to go get. They just called me earlier this morning and said they had all of our library books for this. It's simple. We read a book together about animals. We've been reading about rabbits because we just started. We're on lesson 3. So there you have it. That is everything that we are using in our homeschool right now. I feel like it took me a long time to deliver that information to you guys. I feel like that was a lot of information and a lot of talking, but honestly, that's what we're using in our homeschool right now. That's what's working for us. And when I say working, it doesn't mean that other items aren't. When you see that I have multiple language curriculums, if you will, curricula, however you want to say it, it's not because one isn't working and one is. It's simply I like pieces of this one and I like pieces of this one, and I'm going to stick them together and I'm going to make it work for us. If we're working on topic sentences and writing a good topic sentence, and one curriculum offers a beautiful piece of insight to that, I'm gonna roll with whatever that one offers. I don't think every single curriculum covers everything perfectly in a nugget, in a nutshell. At least I haven't found that. Maybe there is one out there. Maybe I just have really high expectations. I don't know, but that's why you see different things here, and that's what works for us in our home. I talk about it all the time, guys, all the time. This is simplifying for me. It doesn't seem like it. It seems like I'm vomiting. And when I look at the stuff, I feel like I'm vomiting all kinds of stuff to you guys. But I truly, truly tell you right now, with every piece of me, we have finally, thank you, Jesus, nestled in, and it feels so good. got rid of all the extras, all the extra things that I was feeling that I wanted to do, all the extra printables that we print out and want to do in our home that my kids are like, I don't even care. And that's a big thing, guys, for me. My kids don't care about a lot of the extras that I was bringing in, and it was just an extra thing. It was just that. This is what we have. This is what we have in our home. This is what we're using. I hope that it was encouraging to you, that it's gonna look different. And when I say, you know, discovering what my kids actually like and what works for one kid may not necessarily work for another. Do things different for different kids, and ebbing and flowing through all of that. I think it's a beautiful thing. And this is what we have right now, what we are actively currently using in our home right now. I do want to end this video out and just say thank you to Times Tales for sponsoring today's video. Thank you for what you have done in our home and in our homeschool with your Times Tales program. Truly, 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 we have used it. I've used it with every single one of my boys, and I had a homeschool co-op mom friend introduce me to Times Tales, and this was when my oldest was in 3rd grade, now in 8th grade, and we've been using it all that time. So if you're struggling with multiplication facts, maybe Times Tales is the answer for you. If your kiddos are having a hard time, you have to be okay with pausing things and bringing in reinforcements, and that's what we have done, and it's worked with every single one of my boys, and it's been a beautiful thing for us. So Times Tales, thank you once again for sponsoring this video. I'll have a link down below in case you want to check it out for yourself. It's been a beautiful thing. The upgraded version is awesome. It's not quite so outdated. I'm just gonna say outdated. I mean, it's not super crazy exciting. I mean, we're talking about butterflies and Mrs. Week and Mr. and Mrs. Snowman. If you know what I'm talking about, you'll get it. But anyway, we love it. We love it, and it works. Like, it works. So what more do you need to know from us, right? This is our 9th year homeschooling, and every year I buy extra stuff, and every year I have to dwindle it down, and we go through seasons and journeys of this is working, this isn't, and it's not that something is good or bad. It's just simply each child is different, and each child might need to have different things addressed. And when you start to realize what each of your kiddos is needing extra work on, it's a beautiful thing to bring in resources that feed into that. I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope it was some form of encouragement for you, whether it means to make your homeschool your own, whether it was to simplify and maybe go back to the minimal side of things. Like, we don't need all the crazy extras and all the crazy things unless your kids love it and they thrive on it. If so, by all means, do it. For my kids, they're like, give me my bookwork, send me out in nature. So that's what we do. That's what you'll find here at Simply Living It, and I will see you next time.